I would like to introduce David Brown from Algie Brown and Associates. David is a current member of the Professional Advisory Committee, and he is here to highlight a charitable case study involving a gift of life insurance. David?
I know I'm not going to get the 5-minute warning because all I have is 5 minutes. So, and plus I learned how to speak from Hemel and thank you, from Hemel and from Joel. So I think I should be okay. So the date is November 14th, 1988. Coincidentally, actually 31 years from today, or 31 years as of today, when Jack and Sylvia walked into my father's office, late Algie Brown, Zichrono Livracha, and said to him that they wanted to create a monumental gift to UJA Federation. And that monumental gift was going to be $1 million. So, of course, being in the insurance industry, we said to them, well, you can do this through an insurance contract. So Jack and Sylvia went to become insured, and the premium for the insurance contract was actually going to be, for the $1 million contract, $14,000 a year, but unfortunately Sylvia had some medical issues, and so the premium increased a bit to $20,000 a year. And the $1 million contract was put in place with the beneficiary and the owner of being UJA Federation. So the date is now August 19th, 2019, just a few months ago. And Sarah, my daughter, and I had the privilege to meet with the CEO of the federation, the CFO of this federation, Eric Miller, in order to deliver this $1 million check. Sadly, Jack had died about 20 years after the policy was taken out, and Sylvia died earlier this year at the age of 99. So that $1 million policy was delivered. The total cost to the donor was $310,000, taking into account the charitable tax receipt. Case study number one is that one. Case study number two. Case study number two happened actually November 6, 2019. You may think that wasn't that long ago. It wasn't. It was last week when I was in Ottawa at the family offices of Leah and Mush. Leah and Mush happened to be descendants of Jack and Sylvia. And they looked at what their parents did, and they said, you know, we want to do the same thing. But the value of money has changed. We have a corporation, a little bit more involved. So we want to give $5 million to our foundation in Ottawa. So we sat together in the family office with their tax advisors, and we devised a plan. The plan is a 20-year premium contract of $66,000 a year. The death benefit is $5 million. The owner and the beneficiary of the contract is the corporation. As Hemel mentioned, it's a very important piece to have the corporation, the beneficiary, have the beneficiary make the donation, the corporation make the donation on death. So what happens in this scenario is that there's a $5 million charitable tax donation to the corporation, and then also there's the CDA that's created as a result of this of $4.5 million, so that the investors in the corporation can take out additional money on a tax-free basis to the surviving shareholders. We added one other twist to this piece, and that is that we decided that we wanted to refund all of the premiums that have been paid for this insurance contract back to the corporation on death. So basically, in order to do this, we designed the policy, we added the $13,000 premium, and what will happen on the death of Leah and Mush is that there'll be a $5 million contribution made by the corporation to the foundation, for which they'll receive a charitable tax deduction. There will be a refund of death of all of the premiums paid, including the insurance, the premium for the insurance and the premium for the refund of premium back to the corporation. And as a result of that, we've increased the CDA to now close to $6 million. So $6 million will be able to come out on a tax-free basis to the surviving shareholders. Case study number two. Case study number three is all of you. I'm going to explain to you how you can get one of these very nice little pins that say legacy on it, so that you can have on the next name tag that you bring in when you come to the next PAC, meeting. So we've got about 120 advisors in this room. If each of us take out a life insurance policy of $250,000, we in this room would be able to raise $30 million for our community. Now, my late dad told Golda and I that when you derive your income from a community, you have a responsibility to give back. We derive our income from our clients and from our community. We have a responsibility to give back and to show the way. So I'd ask you to identify your age, which you hopefully will know, on this list, and the number that's close to it. That number represents what it would cost you in a guaranteed life insurance policy for $250,000, assuming that you are a non-smoker and assuming that you are in reasonably good health. It's on an individual basis for male, an individual basis for female, on a joint life basis. For those under 40, I don't really necessarily advocate this type of a strategy. And for those over 70, there's a different type of strategy that we do advocate for the $250,000 type of a donation. So I'll leave you with this one quote from Pirkei Avot, from Rav Tarfon, who said, "It is not your responsibility to finish the work, but you are not free to detest from it either." So, desist from it either. So one other quote from Hillel, and the quote is, "Im ein achshav matai." If not now, then when? So I'd like to encourage each of you to look into setting up your own donor-advised fund, setting up your own contract for $250,000, and continuing the tradition of the generations that came before us. Thank you very much.